Be wrong. Okay.
I know
I know there's not red lights up anymore. I'm used to like the normal thing here. Casino Guitar's back with an exclusive news-breaking story for you news nerds and hounds, and then of course our opinions and pundit reviews as we go. This is a big one. So Fender has announced, FMIC, Fender Musical Instrument Corporation, has announced that they are opening their first flagship retail store. We've been sort of known this was coming. No one's told us. That's another story. But we've speculated. We've read the tea leaves.
Yeah.
Now, so all of you that have been cheering for this, it's upon us right now.
It's here.
It's not where you think it's going to be, maybe. It's in Japan.
The obvious choice.
So there's going to be a little bit of a shift. So they've chosen to open a magnificent retail-looking shop. It looks magnificent. Magnificent. In one of the most expensive districts in Japanese commercial real estate.
Yeah.
4 stories of Fender glory and goodness. Nuts, right? I can't even imagine. It's in the old H&M building, I believe, too. It's a glass structure, gorgeous. Okay, let me see what it says. Harajuku Omotasando. Perfect. I have no idea.
Good job, Baxter. That's exactly how I said it.
It's a luxury high-end area. It's where all the fancy, wealthy people live. It's going to be a gorgeous place. But it's a giant retail place.
So it's sort of like the Gibson Garage, but it's Fender and it's in Tokyo. Am I summing it up?
Okay, that's the idea. And there's all sorts of quotes I'm going to get into and read later. Fender's believes, angels, artists are angels, and our job is to give angels wings. There, that's the quote. I've heard that a lot lately, but that's Leo Fender said that. I love the quote. I think it's really cool. It's on a t-shirt you can buy from Fender.com as well. But this is a trend we see sort of going, and we want to sort of analyze why the goods, the bads, the uglies of what's going on here with Fender going, retail. So thanks for joining us. Click like, subscribe,
Hit the old bell.
and enjoy our romp down future memory lane to see how this works out.
Remember there were guitar shops? Yeah.
Remember when the cats didn't rule the world? And we weren't slaves to the cats? But
God.
no, so Gibson Garage did this a few years back in Nash Vegas, Tennessee. And I got to say, it's a really great shop.
We really enjoy it, right?
We love it.
Enjoy going to see the guitars. The people are cool. It's good.
It's a beautiful place. It is. The people are wonderful. We love it. We think it's a great model for what, if you're going to do a retail shop, it's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Fender will no doubt do that and then put it on steroids, I think.
I was going to say it might arguably be cooler.
It will be. Well, I think, Fender's going to look more like an Apple store.
Yes.
From all the NAMM shows we've been to, it's got sort of the white walls and blah, 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 and lots of bright colors. And
Instead of dudes in leather jackets, it's going to be a different vibe.
All of that. Walking around, looking tough. Harley Davidson's parked out front. No, I think it's going to have a different look. They're going to offer everything from Squires to Players Series to the acoustics to the American Series to the limited edition Japanese series. Really pushed hard in this shop, obviously. We also heard the custom shop, and to maybe even be able to spec out a custom shop in Japan. Don't get me wrong, I was looking at price comparisons. Things will be really expensive there.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to go there to get a deal. We're not really worried about that in that respect as a retail shop.
No.
But it's an interesting first step. We can't see this as anything but a test to see when they're going to come do their first USA show.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's almost not even a test. It's just like a rollout, right? It's like the first, step one in plan for world dominance, which, it's fine, but.
And part of me gets it, and it's tricky. Now part of me doesn't. I can get into some of where we don't there in a minute, or we can keep rolling through.
Right.
Because this is a tough example. Because I love Fender. I'm a Fender junkie. I have it tattooed all over my breastplates.
It's weird.
It's
right where the t-shirt line stops.
Center circles too.
The Yakuza.
2, I love the Gibson Garage.
I do too.
But 3, I am nervous for, and not even us. I don't get into that why. I think we're going to be okay. But a lot of people aren't going to be okay, including perhaps the manufacturers if this rolls out improperly over the course of years. Now, I've talked to multiple other retailers about this already. In America, overseas, and in the Far East. That's overseas as well, I guess. Not a lot of people knew about this. And the first we're seeing is sort of the news stories that are popping out, and that was one of my major issues.
Yeah, we only knew because Derek happened to come across the story, the article.
Yeah, and that rubbed me a little bit wrong because I was literally just at Fender a month ago,
right?
And we talked, and it was sort of like it was a great time. I got to hang out with all of the execs that I actually really do like. You got to hang out with all the dealers that I really love. I got to hang out with all the weird guys that make these awesome guitars at Fender, who are awesome cats like Joey and his team. And it's just weird that this was admitted.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, it's a famous old quote from, I think it was Orville Redenbacher, the air of admission is akin to lying sometimes. And so it sort of caught me off a little bit. I was like, why wouldn't they have told us there? We keep secrets for our manufacturers all the time.
Yeah. It's
part of the deal. Just let us know. Because I have direct questions, about like, hey, do you guys have any plans? And it's like, well, it's not yet, or they sort of beat around the bush. And and if they say don't talk about it, we don't talk about it,
right?
Because it's part of if you have this rollout happening, and you want to keep secret. We do that with all of the releases of the guitar. Of course, it's part of the process.
Yeah,
we love it. It's fun, and we get excited. We have one coming in, I think, any day now that we can't talk about quite yet. But it's a sweet guitar. It's badass. It's a Stratocaster. That's all I can say. I mean, it's going to be that or a Tele usually. But no, so I was a little surprised that this wasn't brought up because we went through a lot of things that were important issues from like the strengths and the problems of last year with Fender,
right?
And there were a lot of both, and they were really awesome about battling those and talking to us about it and being transparent on where they screwed up and how they hope to never have to do that again. I would have expected a little bit more respect as far as letting us know that there was going to be a potential of direct-to-consumer custom shop and your first retail shop, which I think we're going to cheerlead and hearken to the trumpets that we think the retail shops are actually really neat. I like it because I do love the Gibson Garage.
I mean, the retail shop is almost like, it's like Disney World for Fender, like going to the Legoland or going to, something like that.
So yeah, and it can actually percolate down to the dealer network.
Sure,
the success of that, because like that is the thing that we do and that we strive, and that's why I'm not really worried about these in the same ways that it will affect other dealers. Like we do deal a lot in the custom shop, we deal a lot in the higher end, and then we do in the middle and the low as well. But we have that is sort of where we live, and our customer service I think is second to none, and that's what we're sort of founded on, and taking the time to build a guitar with you. It takes hours,
yes,
and days and weeks. We don't actually build a guitar. We're just the process of getting the design and the specs. I've been working on this private stock PRS guitars. It's taking me months.
I mean, I literally sat down here. I got off the phone with an awesome customer talking about the guitar they want that they're actually speccing from a comic book, which is awesome.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
It's really, really cool.
Which comic book?
I don't know yet. Okay, he's sending me pictures, but it's really, really cool.
I'm getting ready to spec once you stuffed animals. We get to do all sorts of cool stuff. That might be for me. That's another story. But no, it's something like, this whole business is built on relationships. It's a relationship with the folks that we help build their dream guitars with. It's also built on the relationships that we have with the manufacturers. And there is a partnership and a synergy. And like, it's not just, when we get together once a year and everybody says everything's great. It needs to be a continual thing. And
right.
We love that because I do have that. That's where the reps come into play. We have great reps with all of our manufacturers. Thank God. I hear there's not some good ones. We've had some okay ones before. We have like stellar ones right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, but it's dangerous. So this is where I see this going. I see it almost, let's say this is like, I see why Fender's doing this. I see like, Taylor did this recently going direct, which, that was a huge air of omission as well, which I look as akin to lying. And we were very disappointed in that I was finding out through different sources before they contacted us. I see, it could be like cars, like where you have dealerships. Let's say we're a Fender dealer.
Right.
We have a Fender dealership and you have to have like a Fender showroom. It looks akin to like sort of like the Subaru dealerships. Or it's a war of attrition.
Mm.
And it's like, there will only be like the healthy, strong, independent shops that survive this. And as this goes forward, because I know why Fender is doing this, and I respect it too, because they see that they're having problems with their major reseller, who is GC, obviously. they're teetering on bankruptcy once again, as we just did a video on their downgrading of their bond structures and Moody's and everything. They're in trouble. And that is 25% at least of FMIC's overall sales, also Gibson's. And if Guitar Center goes kaput or belly up, it's a free-for-all.
Right.
It's like, who knows what's happening. It's like everybody's just trying to figure out what to do to save their jobs, save the companies, not have banks take over these companies, which is the worst thing for the companies too. We don't want that, because I really like the group at Fender. I like the executive board. They're good cats.
Right.
They're not actually cats. That'd
be weird.
Just in case this is being translated into another
name, cats. The cats that control Fender.
I was thinking like Tammy Von Cat. That makes me so...
It's not the reptilians, it's the cat.
That's like, yeah. Can that be a meme, please? Oh, maybe it's just me. Yeah. Like, what could Andy's cat thing be? I don't know.
Just a cat eating a lizard.
Andy Meowie. Because like he's it's a horrible dad joke.
That's a horrible, god awful.
I can't believe it. No, but and I often hear this too, like this is the wave of the future. And I get that.
That's just direct sales in general, right?
No, and I'm okay with that. We can beat that. That's not a problem. And the retailers, I'm not worried about it, but it's a future. We have to be really careful is if we lose the core of what makes this whole thing so great.
Right.
Because there are small shops that cannot compete, that don't have a great web presence, don't have a YouTube channel, and you should just create one then. Just do it. It's not that easy. I mean, we're stupid. We just got lucky with this. But in general, it's not that easy for everyone. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of commitment. And
it does.
But the fact that these small shops that I travel around to, they're through the country, and I get to go see that have hardly any web presence, they create a community.
Well, I think there's so basically what you're saying is there's a cost that's not just convenience. You know, it's bigger than convenience or the future of selling. Because without those communities in local little small towns, who's going to buy the guitars? Right? So maybe they're available at Fender shops and Gibson garages and whatever you want to call them everywhere. But if there's no little foster community where kids go to learn how to play, where they go to get interested, you know, where you could talk to the old guys who play live and get advice, there'll be no point. We'll have this crazy infrastructure.
Derek, chime in, Derek.
Chiming in.
I like it.
So
behind the cameras.
That is why you see such heavily influenced Facebook groups. That is why they spend so much time making sure that in the absence of a guitar shop,
well, I thought this was a whole other video we're going to do.
They can get their messaging out to their Taylor buyers, to their Fender buyers through that, and they can stop disinformation or they can spread propaganda.
Well, that's the whole like groups thing too. Is like because the corporations have figured out how to market, and it's not the same way. They're not doing it through the magazines in the same way,
because that's what it used to be, right? It used to be the old age spread and then guitar world.
No, it is. It's like because you have this friendly group that sort of can go out and talk and I don't know, do we want to do this as a separate video? I'm just doing it now. I can do it, but this is just a taste to it. But that's an issue, and like we're gonna sort of dig into that a little bit more. It's tricky. You have to be. It is. The spread of information is very different than it used to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna that one. That takes a lot to unpack. That's a whole other thing. I'm gonna get to that. It's not even say just so much. I got it all noted out already. It's a lot. That's a whole other one. And again, there is positive in this. There is and that's what our whole channel is about, positivity in two folds. A, I'll be first to a Fender store when there's one built because I think it's going to be badass. Yeah. I think it's going to be awesome. B, the positive is it's y'all's jobs and our jobs to make sure this small music community does not die though. And when you do have these stores, these megalotropolis things that are just, the corporate entities of the product, you got to support your independent dealers. We don't care if it's us. We don't care who it is. You got to support them. Anyway, I love it if you support the shop that doesn't even have a website.
Yeah.
It's near you, find it. Now, you can't get your high-end fancy pants Hooten custom shop guitar there, Hooten. Yeah, but it is. When you said, who's going to, buy these guitars, that made me think George Jones. Who's going to write the songs? Who's, that.
Right.
Great. You have to have these communities. And if Fender does it right, it could be an amazing shop. An amazing resource. I'm scared that they're going to push too far. This is where I was going earlier. And they are not set up with the infrastructure of customer service.
Right.
Of really developing a relationship with that instrument and that person to where you can call someone and trust, because it's not going to be Sweetwater, and they do a great job. It's not going to be Casino Guitars. We do a fantastic job. It's not. It's not.
I was just texting with my Sweetwater in. To be fair.
That's not true. The very morning. Oh, dude. I'm getting emotional. Let the wind fall. Unleash behind the scenes at Casino Guitars today. No, and there's no script here. I have bullet points. I have all these quotes from like the CEO of Fender. I have quotes from the papers in Japan. It's going to be an exciting thing. And if you're in Japan, you got to go to the shop. Yeah. It's going to be like H&M with like really expensive guitars instead of really cheap clothes. Which I don't think I'm wearing an H&M jacket right now, I think.
I mean, we're not saying that the Fender shop in Tokyo is going to do all this. We're saying, again, that's the first step of the rollout of this plan. What I find interesting is, like Gibson, when I go to the Gibson garage, right, and I see Gibson USA, it sort of rolls right into the same vibe and the same image into Gibson Custom Shop. You know what I mean? The guys walking around in leather jackets and like, kind of into this cool rock star vibe, it's all the same. I'm not sure Fender is that cohesive from like they're from their Squires to USA. Like all that stuff, it to me is a little more modern. It's a little more geared towards young players.
Yeah.
And then you have Fender Custom Shop is almost separate. It's almost the dudes walking around in leather jackets too.
Or sports jackets.
Or sports jackets. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see how that all marries.
Let me give a grain of like benefit to the executive board of like benefit of the doubt. Like I do think when you walk around the Gibson garage, like, and I've done this myself, like it doesn't make me want to buy from the Gibson garage necessarily.
No,
it makes me want to buy from my trusted Gibson dealer. But I have relationships I developed because I love these people. It's like when I went to my first Fender Custom Shop Roadshow at Will Cutts Guitars, I still knew I wanted to buy this guitar at Wildwood because I developed a relationship with those cats there, and they were so strong.
That is true unless you can't, Wildwood can't get that guitar, but it's sitting in the Gibson garage.
Well, hopefully Gibson learned their lessons from that debacle of like when they were selling their highest end pieces only through the garage. That's absurd, and I'll call them thumbs down on that 100%. So, I mean, like, I'm like right here on this right now so far. Well, I want to be like this.
The horizontal thumb.
The horizontal down. No, but I think we got a chance of this being, but again, like, we just got to be really careful because, again, this is not a self-serving video. We've done a lot of those. Like when we talked about some of the other manufacturers going direct.com, we say it's self-serving, but this is, okay, damn it, never mind. It is self-serving in this way. Because it's the same way as I did it when Taylor went direct. It's self-serving for the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
These guitar shops are who built these brands. All these great guitar shops. And that's the environment of guitar shops around the country that we have. And that built Guitar Center.
Yeah.
And that built Sweetwater. And that guy worked his ass off to build a business selling guitars and developing the best customer service for a mass scale like delivery of product possible. And this is what creates a thriving musical community too, not just, a manufacturer thinking they can do it all. It makes me nervous in that respect.
Right.
So I hope it goes well. And I think we'll survive. Like, I'm not worried about that at all. This is not like Casino Guitars is in trouble. I don't think most of the shops that are doing really solid business are in any trouble from this.
No, I mean, we're
going to help.
It probably will help, actually, and probably be a boost. And we'll see, hey, is this really a hardcore push to sell stuff there? Or is it just a cheerleading, like, look how awesome we are, come experience the Fender line when you're in Tokyo? We'll see.
No, and again, like we said, like I get why they're doing it because they're worried if GC shits the bed, which they've done multiple times, and they're on the verge of doing it again. It's a free for all, and they're trying. And all these other small shops are closing because the owners are just getting old.
Yeah,
and they don't want to do it all forever, and they want to stop.
And everyone's like, "This is a horrible business model to buy into. We're not doing that."
Go. It's like you think restaurants are tough. Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong, restaurants are tougher, I think, but like. The margins are just not there in the guitar business for a lot of folks. It's not retail like clothing or consumer electronics or cars where you have this like great service thing that's continually cranking out.
Well, it's hard to just have the shop without being like, you're a repair thing, or you're also a lesson thing, or you're also, or you're going to do all of being
primarily a shop. We have some other subsidiary stuff, but it's primarily shop is 90% of everything at least.
And that's the focus of everything. I've worked in places where that was not the
I'm
focus.
so verklempt right now. I'm not even upset. I'm very passionate about this. Like it is. And I appreciate all of you. I appreciate everyone that's like our fans. I appreciate the guitar fans out there. I appreciate everyone at Fender taking the time to watch this. If you're watching this in the Fender universe, the FMIC, that sounds so official.
So Marvel, the multiverse.
Ooh, it does. Or just like, yeah. No, I appreciate taking the time to just listen to this rant because, like, it's not just my ranting. It's rantings from so many other friends of ours in this industry that I try to encapsulate their thoughts and their prayers and their feelings from here, overseas, and the community that we know at large that loves this community of guitar playing and wants to see new guitar players, which Fender, you do a great job of promoting that more than any other brand, I think, and more guitar players and happier guitar players. And just, that's it. I don't know what else to say. You got anything else?
I think that's about it. It's pretty good now.
Guitar's on my soapbox there.
I like it.
Excited?
When we get our tickets to Tokyo, we're going summer
Fender
2020.
wants to send us to Tokyo.
God.
We'll go. If
Yes, we will.
you don't even have to put us in first class. You can put us in steerage.
Oh yeah, I'm used to that. Yeah,
That's good. It's like, we'll sit like this. We need
20 hours later.
Actually, we need 4 tickets. Our production team is pretty extensive now because we have like a desk now.
And it's yeah,
We have it's a real desk.
you could see it, you'd be shocked. Like, oh my lord,
Yeah, Fender, you got nothing. Chewing that with their fancy LA offices. We got a desk.
the best IKEA has to offer.
It wasn't IKEA. It wasn't that expensive. Thanks for joining us again.
Big ones.
Peace be with you guys.
See you next time.
Enjoy guitar.